In this question, we have a CO2 molecule, which we're told is linear, shown in the image provided. Our goal is to figure out if this is a polar or non-polar molecule based on whether it's symmetrical or not. So first, let's look at our molecule and decide if it's symmetrical. So I'm going to draw a line on down the middle here. And based on that axis I've drawn, this is symmetrical in that direction because we've got an oxygen on the left and oxygen on the right. What about in this direction? Yep, here it's also symmetrical. We've got oxygens on our axis, carbon on our axis, and we've got nothing above or below. So this molecule appears to be fully symmetrical. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in our first answer. CO2 is fully symmetrical. Next, we need to figure out if it's polar or non-polar and explain why. Now, each of our external atoms, our two oxygens, are going to have some sort of dipole. But in this example, we've got a dipole due to this oxygen and a dipole due to this oxygen, and they're on opposite sides. So they're actually going to cancel each other out, and we're going to end up with zero dipole, in other words, a non-polar molecule. So in this one, the dipole moments will cancel each other out because it's symmetrical, and therefore it's going to be a non-polar molecule. So in these questions, we're figuring out, is it symmetrical or not? If it is symmetrical, the dipole moments will cancel each other out, and it's going to be non-polar. If it's asymmetrical, then our dipole moments will not cancel each other out, and we're going to have an overall dipole moment. In other words, it will be a polar molecule. Let's do another question of this type. In this question, we've got I2S, which has a bent shape as shown in the image provided. So let's take a look at this one. So firstly, I'm going to draw a line down the middle here. So based on that line, it looks symmetrical. We've got the I on the left and the I on the right. However, if I were instead to draw a line this way, then we can see actually, in order for this to be symmetrical, we would need another I up here in order for that to be symmetrical. But we don't have that I. So this one is an asymmetrical molecule. So we're going to have some sort of dipole moment on this I here, and some sort of dipole moment on this I here. But we're missing something up here. So these are not going to all balance each other out. We're going to end up with a net dipole moment. So our Y here is that the dipole moments do not cancel each other out because it's asymmetrical, and therefore our molecule is going to be polar. Let's do one last question. In this question, we've got CF2SE, which is trigonal planar, as shown in the image provided. Now, based on the shape of our trigonal planar molecule, it looks like it's going to be symmetrical, because along this axis, it's symmetrical. We've got the F's on either side. Along this axis, it looks symmetrical. We've got an atom on either side. And along this axis, it looks symmetrical. We've got an atom on either side. But if we actually look at what the atoms are, here we've got an Se atom, and here we've got an F atom. Now, these atoms are going to have different electronegativities. So we're going to have different dipole moments on each of these bonds. And as a result, this is actually an asymmetrical molecule. So in order for it to be fully symmetrical, all our outer atoms have to be the same. If any of our outer atoms are different, it's going to be asymmetrical, even if the geometry looks symmetrical. So our answer is going to be asymmetrical for this one. And if something's asymmetrical, that means our dipole moments do not cancel each other out, and we're going to have a polar molecule. So, to summarize, we have some symmetrical geometries. Those are linear, trigonal planar, and tetrahedral geometries. And since they're symmetrical, the dipole moments will cancel out and they will be non-polar. Then we have some asymmetrical geometries. Those are bent, orthogonal, pyramidal. Since those are asymmetrical, the dipole moments do not cancel out and they're going to be polar. If any outside atoms are not the same as each other, then it's asymmetrical and polar. So even if we have a symmetrical geometry, if the outside atoms are not the same, it's asymmetrical and polar.